All right, welcome to week 12. We are starting to smell the finish line, so that's pretty cool. We've had some really nice weather this spring, some nice cool days and nights before it gets hot. So speaking of the finish line, we just had the Boston Marathon this week. It was on Monday, and I think one of the big stories there is that the American women did very well. They had there were 14 American women in the top 25 in the women's race, and so that's really kind of cool that that the American women are doing so well in international distance running right now. That's pretty exciting. So that's one of my favorite sports is endurance sports like marathon and track and field and cycling. So anyway, pretty exciting Boston Marathon. And the men's finish was a flat out sprint between the top two finishers at the end, and that's always super exciting. So anyway, this week we're looking at social media and sports. And I've included an article in your course content this week from a publication called Sports Business Daily about ways that teams use Facebook. And I want to stress that social media isn't simply about collecting likes, which really isn't effective anyway. I mean, think about it. How often do you hit like on your Facebook and then forget about it 30 seconds later? So much more goes into social media strategies than simply trying to amass as many followers as you can. So our article talks about a specific app that the Boston Celtics are using that does some pretty sophisticated targeting and segmenting. So we have our final current issue assignment this week, and it's about something called ambush marketing. And there are some interesting examples out there, and we see it more frequently in international sports events like the World Cup or like the Olympics. So you'll see a few examples as you go through your research. And I want to point out a few things that can be done better with the current issue assignments. So as you work on your last current issue, two things that have kind of stuck in my mind a little bit as I have gone over the current issue assignments. So this time I'm asking you to define the concept of ambush marketing. Well, that means that you Google some websites and you pick a definition that you write down for your paper. But if you don't put where you got that definition, if you don't put the author and the date in parentheses after that definition in your paper, then you aren't giving credit to the source of your definition, and that's pretty darn close to plagiarism. So almost all of these papers require you to get information from somewhere else, like articles or blogs or Wikipedia. That's how we learn stuff, right? And that's fine. But every time you do that, every time you get a definition from somewhere online, even if you put the definition into your own words, you need to use quotation marks to let me know where you got that definition or idea. So there's a how-to lesson for how to use citations in text and on your reference page in Lesson 1. There's a folder called APA Tutorial. So go back and look at that if you are lost with how to do in-text citations and reference page citations. I've been counting off all along if I haven't seen those, and I'll continue to do that. So, hopefully that's a way that I can communicate to you that's the proper way to give credit to where you get definitions and ideas and stuff. That's something that you're going to have to do going forward in all your papers and all your classes. So we're going to get it right here. And one more thing, I just mentioned how you might put a definition or an author's argument into your own words in your paper. And there are two ways to report information that you find through research. One is using direct quotation marks, so these things, direct quotation marks, or the other way is to put the definition or the idea into your own words. The second way, putting it into your own words, is greatly preferable to simply copy and pasting direct quotes into your paper. So I'm seeing way too many sentences in direct quotation marks that don't really fit. They just seem to be plopped in there without an explanation for why you thought that quote was important or why you put it there or what it means. So let's cut back on the direct quotation marks and practice taking a definition or an idea or a finding, putting it into your own words that fit your writing style and your expression. Now, you're still going to give the author credit for the idea, by citing his or her name after the sentence, but you're the one who took what they said and made it fit what you're saying. So that's better writing than just copy and pasting and putting direct quotes and just plopping it in somewhere in a paragraph just to have a source. So put it into your own words, cite it, and let's practice those things on this current issue. So have a good week. If you need some help, or if you don't know what I'm talking about with those, or if you want me to look at it with what you're doing and give you some feedback, I'm always happy to do that. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon.